You know, I have to applaud Janet to a certain degree because I think men have lost their rights. In certain issues, domestic violence, sexual issues, you are guilty.
Called the Violence Against Women Act, not the Violence Against Family Members Act.
And I mean, that's not right. And so these are horrible problems that exist, and many times men are at fault, but we just assume that men are guilty without any.
The way I see it, men haven't really lost rights because we've never had those rights, like the right to bodily integrity, the right to vote without signing up for a draft, the right to choose parenthood. So these are rights that we've never had, so we haven't lost them. But this is a good guy, it seems. Much better than the other guy who will speak later.
Men can accuse women of domestic violence as well and play falsely and
exactly.
do the same thing.
So that.
Gee, I wonder if a man and a woman both accuse one another for domestic violence. I wonder who they're gonna believe if there's no evidence. So, but of course, men can accuse women of domestic violence, but we all know that it's gonna go women's way. And hell, it's even that can't remember the name, that if the man is the victim of domestic violence, police come and take him away even though he's innocent. So it doesn't even matter if man is victim or a perpetrator, the police is gonna take him away anyway. Equality and all, yeah.
That is the point. That is the point that I'm trying to make, that all those issues can work both ways.
Right, that's the point, Doctor, that gender isn't going to tell you anything about who's being falsely accused, who's guilty of domestic violence, who's guilty of initiating a divorce. Gender doesn't tell you anything meaningful about that. I'm not oppressed just because I'm a woman.
Right.
Lots of men are oppressed in some very real ways. Gender doesn't give you a significant way to understand those issues. We need a bigger, broader, more inclusive, more human way to tackle these issues.
If you don't know, this woman is Janet Bloomfield, I guess. Of course we know about gender tells us everything. Men are bad, women are good. Even when woman does something bad, it's men's fault, so.
In life, all you really want is the individual choice to be who you want to be and to be given all the opportunities. And then when there's any scenario where any individual in any way, shape, or form, for whatever reason, is not allowed those opportunities, that's problematic, and we always need to fight that. And in your opinion, you think men are being, look, that's fine. And we should talk about all these things, because
and I think in some cases they are.
Well, what about, she mentioned,
Maybe.
you know, in terms of pro-choice, women have the ability to choose whether or not they want to move forward with a pregnancy, but men don't have that choice whether or not they want to be a father or support that child if the woman chooses to have the child.
Yes, I think men should have the right to opt out of parenthood. They shouldn't be held financially accountable for the child if he doesn't want to. Just like a woman can end pregnancy, so men should at least financially cut out from the child. And then, of course, there's also the problem of men raising children that might not be theirs and still have to pay child support, even if it's proven that it's not his child. So that's another matter. And funnily enough, we never really hear feminists talking about this, the movement for equality. They must be busy.
I don't know.
Well,
what to
I
say
think
to that.
also a lot, you know, I'm the mother of a son and a daughter, and I think that it does change your whole paradigm when you are a mother of a boy versus a girl, because these issues take on a different significance. They do. And I think that whether you're talking about religion or race or gender or anything, your occupation, whether you stay at home or choose to work outside the home, I think it's a slippery slope if you make a generalization. And I think that being a mom has really taught me so much. I mean, I think there's nothing like trying to elevate your game, right, when you are a parent, and it does shift your whole mindset about this. And I think it's not one extreme or another. We have to just settle somewhere in the middle.
Call me pessimistic, but I doubt that if a feminist or anyone would ask you that who has more rights, men or women, and even though you have a son, you probably would say men have more rights, which is of course false. Yeah, I'm kind of skeptic that you have changed your whole view, but maybe you have. Hopefully you have. But again, this it seems that women have to have a child, a baby child. Do they notice that men have these disadvantages in life compared to women?
Reproductive rights. It's not just about women's right to choose. Every single state in the U.S. allows women a certain amount of time to decide if they wish to parent the child they have given birth to. In North Dakota, they have a full year to decide if they wish to assume legal, moral, financial, social responsibility for that child. If they don't, they simply surrender it and all their obligations end. They're done.
If and when men can't have the financial portion, women who have children and want to give it to adoption or something, they abandon the child in a police station, make them pay child support to that family or state that will raise that child. Because men can't just abandon the child and be free of any financial responsibility. So why should women have that option? If they give the baby to adoption, make them pay child support to that family.
You mean they give it up for adoption?
Yes.
Yes, it's called a safe haven law. No man in the U.S. has the right to opt out of parenting a child he has biologically contributed to. And even worse than that, he doesn't have to be the biological father. He can still be held responsible. If you don't see that as a gross unfairness, I'm not sure you know what fairness means.
Well, and look, there are a lot of things in life that we know aren't fair. I still think we've made a lot of progress.
We have.
And we need to continue to have these conversations. Janet, I know you've used a lot of strong words, and I don't agree with a lot of your headlines. Just going to be frank with you, but certainly you bring up a lot of interesting points. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This doctor, he has a face that you just want to punch, especially when he says something like that. I do wonder, he's made his living being on a daytime talk show, of course, which is probably 90% women viewers. I wonder if a woman would come and say something like, I don't know, anything, pay gap or something like that. I doubt that that guy would say something like that. I just don't see it happening. I wonder if someone would falsely accuse him of rape or domestic violence. I wonder if that would change his mind about things that Janet said in this video. But I doubt that it would change. Well, some people are just lost causes. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Or not.